Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Monday here on the channel for the Black Hood Crew. I am your host slash chauffeur, BHC underscore Darkness 30XX. Names are in the corner. As always, chat is open on that side for everyone watching. You can follow along on YouTube and Facebook at the Black Hood Crew. Twitch, Twitter, Steam, Trovo, TikTok, Instagram, everything else at the name in the corner. It is Monday, February 20th. And just getting the day started. I know I was gone last week, but I am back at least for the next couple weeks, at least until spring break. So we're going to go ahead and go from there. Just kicked up the AC. It's a little hot today. We're looking at 83 degrees outside right now, so it's a bit on the warm side, even though it rained last night. So whatever cold front was supposed to be coming, yeah, I think it skipped. So on my way to work and just try to get through today. Yesterday, not too bad. I wait for a person. I literally just got back from seeing my kids in Orlando. People. Anyway, yeah, literally just got back from Orlando yesterday. Got to the house just in time to prepare myself to be at work. So I had literally just enough time to take a shower, get dressed, and get to work on time, which is always a good thing because, as all of you know, I hate being late. So today, normal Monday, and we'll see how today goes. Hopefully, we're not having too many issues today. Yesterday we didn't have any issues. Patient load wasn't bad. A little consistent at times, but otherwise okay. A lot of discussions were had, mostly about Russia and Ukraine, which seems to be the absolute killer topic right now. Whether you believe all the news that's coming out of that area of the world or not, I would say take all of it with a grain of salt, the good and the bad. Simply because, Russia has been notorious for silencing the press, free press anyway. They've been known to engage in internet hacking for many years now, and have been almost experts at misinformation since the Cold War. Misinformation and propaganda since the Cold War. That's not to say the U.S. has not dabbled in that. Clearly, the U.S. has done some very shady things from before the Cold War, through the Cold War, and up to modern day. Same with misinformation, propaganda, and just in general, just not being entirely truthful into what is actually happening, whether it's locally or abroad. So yeah, like I said, whatever information you choose to follow, not follow, I would say look into the information more. Although I will tell you that I have seen actual footage of some of the Ukrainian Navy. It looked like the bridge of a ship, but given the fact that this is purely a landlocked battle, the likelihood of it being a ship is kind of iffy. But the video did have a Ukrainian soldier responding to Russian hails on the radio and Russian commands: step down, surrender, blah, blah, blah. And the soldier's response was, Russia, go fuck yourself. Classic. Yes, that was an actual video. Whether it was the phrase from those 13 soldiers that were killed on that defending that island, or it was an inspired moment from a separate incident, we'll never really know. But I would still say, whether it's true or not, that's still a badass move. Right? To basically tell a superior force that they can go screw themselves. Classic. But yeah. It is a very dire situation over there. Ukraine is not a very large country. Their military not very well, not really an equivalent to, say, the Russian military. You know, Russia has been very militarized for many years. Their military is basically their claim to fame for many years was having a large military force. And, you know, the demonstrations, the attacks, and everything that's going on is basically just proof of that. Because you don't turn around and say, we're going to invade a neighboring country and just take it without having the force to back it that initial sentiment up. So yeah, Russia's got a very large military, a lot of equipment heading in the direction of the Ukraine. So yeah, we're looking at hoping that this is not the start of World War III, but it seems to be playing in that direction. Do I hope it comes up to that? Obviously not. Don't want anybody to be involved. Hell, this invasion, which didn't occur, but it was premeditated and more as a response to NATO and its allies in the region, who were essentially gaining as many allies in that particular region of the world and building military bases where joint military groups made up of soldiers from many different countries could basically provide a buffer against Russia. And Ukraine was basically on the cusp of joining NATO as an ally, and thus basically allowing world militaries to have essentially a foothold in the region by having an ally there. And Russia basically said, in this case, Vladimir Putin, basically said, we're not going to allow that to happen. We'll invade the Ukraine first. The problem with that is that, okay, you took over a potential ally to NATO and other countries involved with that organization. But what happens now? Let's say Russia successfully conquers Ukraine and expands their their landmass and acquiring that land of Ukraine and making it part of it. What then? What happens should they succeed? They would still be isolated to that region of the world, as every other country, literally west of the Ukraine, is basically going to be like, okay, I mean, you got one country, you know, try getting the next one. As now all those countries will bolster their military, have support from those west of them, and essentially Russia's going to become isolated anyway. All they did was basically have a show of force. They are in a good position to take over the Ukraine. But then there's no follow-up plan. Or at least none that I can see at this point anyway. Simply because, okay, you took over a country. I mean, the only real chance that they would have is if they turned around and basically went to China and said, you want in? That would be a problem. A very big problem. China is, for many years, been trying to get their hands on Tibet. And basically acquire it. And make it part of mainland China. This is going on for many years. So, if anything, this might be this act of aggression by Russia against Ukraine could be seen as a model for what China should do when it comes to Tibet. And that basically is build up your military, put them on the border, and then one day just say, go. Now, Tibet being a very small country, no military to speak of, would essentially be crushed in a matter of days. Do I want to see that happen? No. Because again, that kind of action would only serve to embolden them, it's China in this particular case, to continue their expansion, whether it's west, south, as it stands right now, Russia is alone in this. It's just one country versus another country. Although I did hear that Sweden sent four soldiers. Literally 4 dudes. I don't know if Sweden is high. Maybe they're drunk. But if you're going to support another country in an armed conflict, especially one on this scale, 4 dudes might not be enough. Unless those 4 dudes were, I don't know, T-100 Terminators in disguise, X-Men. You know, maybe they're 4 random Avengers. Like, for all we know, they could be. But I don't see 4 dudes really turning a tide in a war. Maybe a single battle if they catch the enemy by surprise, but a drawn-out conflict, 4 guys? Yeah, that's not happening. But you never know. So instead, I'd like to just sit back, wait, and see what's going to happen. Again, this is happening thousands of miles away. Um, I do take some solace in the knowledge that in recent years there's been a influx, if you will, of Russian business owners, uh, people of wealth coming from Russia, specifically here to South Florida, and buying up businesses, starting businesses, or just acquiring property here and there. Apartment buildings there, the occasional home here and there. So we have a fairly robust demographic of Russians here in South Florida. Now, should it come down to an all-out global conflict, would Russia make a move on the United States? A possibility. But the likelihood of them outright bombing at least South Florida, it's not going to happen. At least I would hope he's not crazy enough to bomb his own people who just happen to be here, trying to create new businesses, create new lives for themselves, buying up homes, property, what have you. Just trying to, get through life here in the United States. The likelihood of that is very low. Instead, I would hope that this is a conflict that remains in that region of the world. Do I see the U.S. potentially joining the conflict? The possibility is there. I mean, FDR said he had no plans of, joining in World War II. But Japan kind of changed that with Pearl Harbor. So, at this point, Russia has all the cards, and everyone else, including Ukraine, is basically on the defensive. And now it's just basically wait and see. Ukraine might be a lost cause at this point, given the contrast between the two militaries. A buddy of mine last night kind of put it like this. You look at the initial advance of Russia, and this is something that's reported from the ground. The soldiers are young, inexperienced, and wielding outdated equipment, functioning equipment, but outdated compared to some of what we know Russia has access to. He proposed that the initial waves, the initial advance would be done with older equipment and inexperienced soldiers, to then be followed up with subsequent waves of better trained, better equipped soldiers. Almost in a way to lure Ukraine and essentially the rest of the world into thinking that Russia has an advance, that they haven't built anything, they haven't kept their military up to par. For one, that is complete horse crap. Like, if you know anything about Russia post Cold War, that's really all they were really known for, is military might, as well as their nuclear arsenal being second only to our own. United States. Um, so, I mean, is this going to be something huge going forward? Yes, this is going to have ramifications for years to come for anyone involved. What I'm hoping for is that those involved do not include us. But given the US's propensity for wanting to get involved in a ton of stuff that does not involve them, the likelihood of the United States becoming involved in this armed conflict in the future, maybe even the near future, is high. And each day it only goes higher. So, I would say be safe, and get very good at speaking Russian, understanding, because it's coming. So, on that very dark note, we're going to go ahead and cut today's stream out here, simply because looking at the time, I have maybe about 5 minutes to get from my car to a badging station where I can sign in for work. So I won't really have time to sit in the car. I haven't even parked yet, obviously. Seatbelt's still on. But, so we're going to cut it out here. I will see you all again tomorrow, same time, 3:30ish, as we do another live stream here on the channel for the Black Hood Crew. Again, Black Hood Crew, YouTube and Facebook, follow along. Twitch, Twitter, Steam, Trovo, TikTok, Instagram, Game in the Corner, follow along there as well. And until then, until tomorrow, have a good day, have a good night, be safe, also be excellent to each other. Have a good one.